true believers. It is your boy Corey back with another podcast episode. So this one is the new format I'm going towards, as in, obviously, you will still hear my audio podcast as you're listening to this now, but I will also upload to my personal YouTube channel the video version of the podcast. So that'll even mean going forward with guests, I will have the video format as well as the audio format, just adding a little twist to it and stepping up things for myself, for lack of a better term. Speaking of that, so I finally started my production company that I've been really been working on, and it's called Machine Dad Productions, because when you have 4 kids and you're getting things done, especially during the 6 months of NTI when I was homeschooling 4 kids, is you just handle stuff like a machine. You just kill it. And so part of that was designing my logo, and I understand if you're on the audio of this, it'll be hard to see, but if you're looking at the video, you'll see it where I've got it on there. And yes, worked on that. It was really cool because the whole process of registering. Ooh, that was hard. Put my microphone back up here. See if y'all can see my little microphone. Registering it as an LLC, limited liability company with the state, and so that was pretty neat. It's official. It's really kind of cool, to be honest with you. And I've already released my first short film called Origins, and on the YouTube channel, and I'll try to do it also on my audio, just the audio podcast. I will include the link to the YouTube. I'll include the YouTube link to the movie so you guys can watch it. It's one of those things that had been in my head, and one of the reasons I wanted to, part of Machine Dad Productions is it's a multimedia company, and one of the things I want to do is make short films, and mainly because I wanted to make stuff that I would watch, and I don't mean that in a selfish way. I mean it I think sometimes a lot of the content we watch talks down to us and doesn't take into consideration our intelligence, as much as it's just trying to generically speak to what they deem is a demographic. And this is, Origins is a so that was hard part, is even trying to classify it in a genre. I guess it would be a horror thriller noir film, and it was full credit to my 2 oldest super princesses and my wife, and this was why they helped with filming and things like that. And one of the reasons I really wanted them to is because I wanted my first film to have them in my credits of the film. I wanted it sort of immortalized, for lack of a better term, and having them on there to say, this is my first film, whatever happens, like, these were the people that were there. And so it was using my ADHD as a superpower has really been a thing for me, especially when NTI started back in March, and I was just officially diagnosed in January of this year, January 15th. I will not forget the date, because I will not forget January 8th, the 4 hours of testing for it. But you can go back and listen to that podcast. But trying to really embrace my ADHD, and it's a combined, for those that understand, what kind of, there's 3 types of ADHD, mine's combined, to really use it as a superpower. And for me, multitasking is where my brain sort of glows in handling. And I'm like, okay, I saw that in NTI, as long as I kept everything scheduled. And I was like, I really want to do this multimedia production company. Now, the other aspect is photography, which I'm learning as I go along, I guess, for lack of a better term. So, I'm the photography side. I'm sort of shooting everything I can, as far as just taking so many pictures and learning the edits and making the adjustments and seeing how I see things and playing with lighting. That's really the fun part of it. And then the other part of it is boudoir photography, and my credit to my wife Damari, who has been my model for this entire time, and I've started to actually book other clients, because the goal is now I'm just wanting to, and I'm like, look, the prints will be yours. It'll be a free session, but I want to build my portfolio as well as gain experience. And, one of the things with the boudoir side of it is it's an empowering boudoir session. This is not like, okay, get a makeup artist and do your hair absolutely perfect. Did I say do your hair? Get a makeup artist and do your makeup and style your hair absolutely perfect, and in these unrealistic outfits that you don't wear on your own, because while I think that's fine and everything has a niche, I don't want to make it sound like I'm shooting that side down, but I want my clients to be able to look back, at the booklet of pictures that I'll give them. I want them to be able to look back at, sorry, not booklet, book of pictures I'm giving them. I want them to be able to look at those pictures and see the beauty, the power, the sensuality, again, empowerment that is in them every single day, all the time. Not just when the stars were aligned and their makeup was a certain way or their dress was a certain way. I want it to be with clothes that they already have. So they're like, when they wear that, they're going to have a little extra swagger. And that's what I want for my clients. And I'm also trying to reach out to people I know who have gone through any type of trauma, because I want them to feel that warrior side of them. And look back at those pictures and be like, man, that's what I'm like all the time. Not just when it was a makeup artist or this piece of clothing or whatever, and using natural lighting. And actually, we'll shoot my first client next week. Yes, a week too. Yes, sorry, next week. And so really excited about that. And also really excited to get a chance to, when you have a creative mind and you have these things in your head, getting a chance to see them in physical form and produce something, whether it's, you're holding it or viewing it, is just self-gratifying unto itself. And going back to the movie making side of it with Origins, I was telling a friend of mine, I said the hardest, the neatest accolation I feel like I have received is not been the many positive comments from people, and I'm very thankful for that. So let's not get that twisted. But it's just been the fact that this was something that was an idea that took. As I'm looking around, and you can see on here that I'm looking around, but I moved it. That took. Oh, here it is. That took physical form in the form of a script. I'm holding that up for everyone listening on the audio, to it being filmed in a movie. And then what was nice to me was when I was editing it, and a lot, honestly, a lot of the editing was really about timing, and then scoring the movie music soundtrack wise, I was really kind of worried about, and that ended up flowing to, again, using my ADHD as a superpower. If you understand anything about ADHD, you know what hyper focus is. So in those hyper focus moments, I have where I'm sitting now. Thanks to my wife, I have the workstation in the bedroom. I've got, I always have my iPad with me with my Magic Keyboard, and I have a monitor that I can plug into my iPad, so see things there that are, this way it's blown up, so when I'm editing it, and I do all this through my iPad, because people have asked me, I use LumaFusion to edit my videos, and so I can color grade and do things. I can edit photos too. I have Procreate and I have Snapseed, but there's certain times depending on what I need to do, I float between those three when it comes to photographs, and they work fine with me. Like in my head, I know what I want to do, and I know what app's going to give me what, so it's not like a big deal. But when editing it and then going back to watch it, the best feeling I got was I felt like everything that I was portraying in my head had not just made it to paper, but it made it to the medium that I was doing, which was film. And it came across the exact way that I meant to. I didn't feel like, it's supposed to be like this. His character's supposed to come across like this way. But when I filmed it, I was like, crap. Like that was the neatest feeling to me. And it was weird, because then when I was done editing it and I was done scoring it, I felt like there was trepidation. I'll just be very honest. There was a lot of, I don't want to hit upload. Like I kind of just want to keep this for myself. And then I was like, no, this journey is involving coming outside of my. I don't think I've ever had a comfort zone. Thank you to surviving childhood abuse. I just think, there's that part that I'm like, no, this is just you. You just kind of want to hold it, and you just, before I share this to the world, I just kind of want to hold it. And so, but then I said, no, we did good about this, and even then, in releasing it, it was never about what other people said, and I don't mean that in a like that's not meant in an arrogant way. It's just that I think with any creative mind, because I think the term creator is getting used too much and not necessarily the right way, but in any creative mind, you know, it's something you need to get out. It's something you need to do. It's always going to be subjective because it came from you. So while like I said before, while I'm very appreciative of the comments, I'm also not caught up in, like, even when I told people about it, beyond the social media blast and everything else, I was very like speaking to people personally or texting people personally, thank you COVID, or things like that. I was very clear as I never asked somebody what they thought. I was just like, hey, my first short film is done, Origins, here's the link, I hope you enjoy it. And that was it. Never once. And if you're one of those people that I did I told about, you know that I'm right. I never asked, was like, oh, what do you think? Having eyes on it, and I mean, it's been like I know after the first 24 hours I had like 90 views, and I was happy with that. That was the thing. It was never about an opinion as much as it was just about seeing that there were eyes on it, and that's the reward. And I've heard constructive criticisms, I've heard compliments, and neither one I can honestly feel like I have an emotional attachment to, as far as, do I feel like emotional attachment in the sense of validating the work I did in creating Origins. They're not connected. They're just there. I hear them. I take them in. I don't ignore them. But that's a top surface. This came from me. This is a body of work that I completely created from nothing. That's cool. This, long after I die, this movie will be around, and it'll have my name on it as creator. It'll have my company that I created on it. And pride is not the term to use. It's just it's because it's a self thing. And growing up the way that I did with the family and the parents, the way that I have, self pride itself is a very confusing thing to feel, because I'm not used to it. So that's been out. I've already I said I wasn't gonna do it until next week. Thank you, ADHD superpower. I've already started on, because I have a project board I created on the Noteworthy app on my iPad of films that I want to do, and I've got, they have titles and what I want to do about them, because I was like, okay, I didn't want to just make something and then sort of just muddle around, and then the first thought I had, I was gonna shoot that. I was like, no, I want to be able to have that board to say, okay, let's look at this. And COVID and restrictions have a lot to do with making the next choice anyway, because there's some short films I want to do that involve like 5 or 6 characters, but responsibly I can't do that now. And so, I wanted to be able to look at that. And plus, again, ADHD, I don't want to think of something that, which I'm notorious for this, something hits me at 1 a.m. I don't want to be like, okay, I'll remember it tomorrow. Or, oh, that's a great idea, I'll remember that when I'm done with Origins. No, I mean, when I was filming Origins, I was hitting that list because I was like, I want to be able to look at these. I looked at it today for the first time, like legit looked at it. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot I had that idea. And I'm like, I'm really glad that I wrote this down. So it's in that sense that I'm happy with what I'm doing. But so for the next film that I'm looking at, it's called But You Don't Look Like a Runner. And I've this past April marked 10 years that I've been an endurance runner, and I've loved it. I'm not a big like run in a group type of dude. I always run by myself, and except for races, obviously. And I don't know how much I'm going back to that. I've recovered from the spinal surgery, but that's a whole different thing. But I've always there hasn't been a month go by that I don't meet someone or someone sees me on social media and we talk, and know that I'm a runner, and I always get, man, you don't look like a runner. I get it. I'm 6'2", I'm 250. I'm, for those that are on the audio, I'm flexing right now in a shamed way. I can bench press my body weight more. I can leg press 1,000 pounds, like working out weight. These are not, I don't know my max. I'm not that workout dude. Like I work out to have functional strength. So I get it. I'm not built like what their version is of a stereotypical runner, but I get that all the time. And I always phrase it as quote unquote the compliment that people say. But I know over the years that I've met some fabulously wonderful people. I've heard a lot of people say that they've had people say that to them. And I was like, you know what? I kind of want to do. I wanted my next short film to be a documentary, and I'm gonna piece together video interviews with people that have had people say this, and let's really break it down. Let's really peel the layers back. Let's really see. Let's discuss how it actually makes us feel. Let's discuss what somebody should say to someone they see this to, and let's just have an open forum. And my hope is that, okay, getting eyes on it again, that changes some opinions on people, and that again, that's a phenomenal thing. So I'm excited to do this as well. It also made me think of a project that I put on the project board after I was reaching out on social media. And if you're watching and listening to this and you want to be a part of it, please reach out to me. But I came to the idea of, I think also, and it may not be the right next one because I don't know if I want to do back-to-back documentaries, but I also may be in the zone of doing one that I'm like, okay, I definitely want to do this, but I want to talk about, and I think the title, and I may change it, I'm not sure, but the title right now I have is Don't Forget Your Pepper Spray. And the purpose of this documentary is I want to interview female runners, and I want to hear about the unfair, unjust, ridiculous amount of bullshit that my friends and all, not just my friends, I shouldn't say that, but all female runners have to endure, doing something that we all love and doing something that it doesn't affect anyone else's life but theirs. But anything from, my female counterparts have to make sure they've got pepper spray or a hidden weapon, or make sure you're on a clear path, to even the more ridiculous of, well, what kind of shorts are you wearing? Why are you just running in a sports bra? And what people the things that I know personally from conversations, the things that people have yelled out a window to them as they're out running and enjoying a great time, that no one should have to endure. And I want to give light to that as well. So I think that I'm still working through that next one. That may birth the same thing, sort of the experiences we go through as a black runner, as a person of color, and that's not gender specific. That would be men and women. I want to crawl before I walk before I run. So I'll get through these two. I did add it to the board, but again, it may be one of those when I'm done filming back to back documentaries, I'm like, no, I definitely want to hit this one. So I may do it, and it may be one of those that it's like, that's one I'm going to tackle in spring. Obviously, as we're going into winter, in the spring when things are warm and everyone's out running again, even though I'm the dude that's running in shorts all year round outside, because my legs don't, and my upper body gets cold, my legs don't, and I don't like to wear pants that I start sweating in them because I feel, it feels icky. Can I say icky? I mean, I've got 4 kids, icky. It's like, if I go to the bathroom, I say I gotta go potty. Anyway, so I'm excited for this aspect in making this real, and growing up never being allowed, and that's not an exaggeration, of exploring my creative mind, and not in the cases of when I did, no one really giving a damn, no one encouraging me or anything like that, and getting older and realizing I have these thoughts and I have these ideas and I want to get those out. So I'm so excited about Machine Dad Productions. Like I said, I'll have links on the YouTube. I will include them on the write-up of the podcast itself for any of the audio, the links to all of the social media attached to Machine Dad Productions, so you can follow me on that side and stay up to date. So for those people, and I put this at the end of Origins, at the end of the credit, for those that for those that ride the lightning right beside me, thank you. You know who you are. You've reached out. You have said. I've heard the really, not just hey, good job, Corey, like the true kind words of encouragement that you've shown me, and that means so much to me. And I get a little bashful when people compliment me, so I apologize on the awkwardness of me saying thank you in the way that I have, because it's weird. Like I'm like, oh, why do you like me? Like, so I don't know. It's my own thing. So I do want to say I hope you guys are doing well. I'm really excited. On my next podcast, I'll be talking to I call him brother in hard work, Elgin, Elgin Foster, and he's an amazing dude with an amazing story, and so I'm excited to bring that guys to you next week. So I know everyone is still waiting on. At the time, this is Thursday, the 5th. This won't get dropped until Monday. I know at the time we're all still waiting on results for the election, and I just didn't want to do anything political. I think we're all anxiety enough as is, and no one needs to be reminded of that. So I hope this was able to bring a smile to your face and bring a little joy to your day. So thank you guys again. Thank you guys for listening, or thank you guys for watching. And hey, thank you if you did both, because then I'll have you over for Thanksgiving. This is Kentucky. I can get you some bourbon. I'm just saying. Seriously, thank you guys. Like I always say, do better, be better. One love. I'm out.